engagement is really important to East Point and getting out early and often. I will say big shout out to the Victoria Economic Development Corporation, specifically Sharon Barnard. She has introduced us to so many folks, and it's really important to get out there and to have these conversations.
Welcome to the Hunger Action Heroes podcast. Hunger Action Heroes is a production of the Food Bank of the Golden Crescent. The Food Bank of the Golden Crescent was established in 1986 as the Community Food Bank in Victoria, Texas. Our mission is helping heal the hurt of hunger in our 11-county service area: Calhoun, Colorado, DeWitt, Goliad, Gonzales, Jackson, Lavaca, Matagorda, Refugio, Victoria, and Wharton. We passionately advocate for a hunger-free Texas. Your host, Chris Doelle, will bring you a message from our sponsor and get right into the episode. Stick around.
The Hunger Action Heroes podcast by the Food Bank of the Golden Crescent is made possible by the generous support of the HEB Hunger Relief Program. HEB Hunger Relief works year-round to fight hunger in Texas and Mexico. Hunger relief has been a key focus for HEB since the first store opened back in 1905. For more than a century now, HEB's commitment and involvement in the communities it serves has been an important part of the way the company does business. Since the inception of the Hunger Relief Program, HEB has donated over 1 billion pounds of food to help nourish neighbors in communities throughout Texas and Mexico. Thank you to the HEB Hunger Relief Program. As an independent power producer, East Point Energy is currently developing gigawatts of energy storage products throughout the country to build a clean, resilient, and affordable electric grid for the future. The Bobcat Battery Storage Project will help keep our own grid running smoothly as energy needs grow. This project isn't just about energy. It's about working together to shape a stronger future for the Golden Crescent. You can learn more at bobcatenergycenter.com. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Hunger Action Heroes podcast. I'm Chris Doelle. Today, I have a couple of very special guests from East Point Energy. We have Kat Chapman, the Manager of Community Engagement, and Sydney Harness, the Project Development Manager for Texas. So welcome both of you.
Thank you so much for having us, Chris. Yeah.
Oh, of course, of course. First, I have to start with thanking you for your support of the food bank and all that they do. You truly are Hunger Action Heroes.
Yeah, we are just so thrilled to sponsor the food bank. We're so glad we found them. We read the Victoria Advocate and read about what they do, and that they're based in Victoria, but they actually serve 11 other counties. And hearing so much about food insecurity over the last year, we felt like it was a really good fit for us. We toured the facility a few months ago and met Robin and her team, and we truly are grateful to be able to be involved and to support the organization.
I love that. And, I'm excited to learn more about East Point Energy, but first I want to learn about you folks. First, Sydney, tell me who you are and how you got involved with East Point Energy.
Oh, wow. Sydney Harness, I've been working in development a while. I've been in the industry coming up on 9 or 10 years, which I'll tell you what, time flies. I graduated my college degree. I graduated with energy engineering, and I admittedly fell into that in college and just lucked out because I ended up being really passionate about it. Been working in the development space for about 5 years. And started at another company, but recently transitioned to East Point about a year ago when, my husband and I got married and wanted to move back to the Charlottesville region, Charlottesville, Virginia. And so, that's how I ended up at East Point, and I'm loving it so far.
Sweet. And Kat, what is your story? How did you get involved with this cool company?
Well, I've worked in energy and large infrastructure development for more than a decade. I'm not going to tell when I graduated from college, but I love working in public affairs and community engagement for these large projects. We really want to be a good community partner. And so I work with project developers like Sydney to identify groups that would be good partners for us. We want to learn about the communities and hear what's important to them,
Hmm.
and be able to support those communities with, whatever strengths they have, whatever needs they have. And we feel like we've met some wonderful people in Victoria County.
Yeah, excellent. And I guess, in simple terms, tell folks what East Point Energy does, and then we'll dig into some more details.
Yeah, Sydney, do you want me to start with telling just a little bit about East Point, and then maybe you can talk about battery storage?
Sure,
Would that be good?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so we are based in Charlottesville, Virginia, but we work across the country. In fact, I've spent a lot of time over the last year in Texas and have loved it. But we started as a pure play developer, developing battery energy storage projects. In 2018, we were started by a group of energy professionals that combined have decades of experience in energy development. In 2022, we were purchased by Equinor, which is a large global energy company that has actually a large presence in Texas. They were formerly known as Stat Oil. And so through their purchase, we're still a wholly owned subsidiary, but they infused capital and have allowed us to become an independent power producer, which means we not only develop projects, but we see them through construction and then we own and operate them. So for me, I love it because, when I go into communities, I'm able to say, we're here for the long term. We're developing this project, but we're going to be with you for the 20 to 25 years of the project life. So that's really exciting to us. And I'll pivot over to Sydney to tell you a little bit more about what battery storage is all about.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. It's when I first heard about battery storage, I was like, what is that? A good way to start thinking about battery storage is like think about your phone or your laptop. I mean, we're surrounded by batteries every single day. We just develop it at a much larger scale. So we do utility scale battery storage, which is just large batteries that charge at low demand times. So when
Hmm.
electricity is not as much in as needed, not as needed. We charge at low demand times. We save that electricity in our batteries until there's a high surge in demand. So a lot of people are turning on their lights. It's hot. It's cold. Other factors that contribute to electricity needs. We then put it back onto the grid, so
Hmm.
the transmission lines, and it essentially is a good way for us to contribute to the grid. It helps with grid stabilization, and then it also gives people the power that they need.
Nice,
Helps keeps
nice.
the lights turning on consistently.
Yeah.
So it sounds to me like a really big power wall kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
They're in kind of storage containers. Like it's what it looks like.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a storage container full of batteries. Kat, did I
Excellent.
miss anything that you would want to add?
Yeah. Well, I would just add that, we're helping contribute toward energy independence for the
Yeah.
United
Yes,
States, which is really important these
important.
days, getting more important. But also, stabilizing not only the grid, but energy pricing. I think you may have mentioned that, Sydney, but I just wanted to reinforce that.
No,
Yeah, that's a big.
as I say, that's perfect. And is your moving here in response to the event that happened a few years ago when ERCOT went down and we had the big freeze? Is that why you say, oh, there's an opportunity to fix something here?
I believe that was Storm Uri. Is that correct? Um, Yes. So it definitely contributes.
Hmm.
I think that there are other opportunities. Like when you think about Texas, Texas is one of the largest energy markets in the country, if not the largest. And Texans know that they have oil and gas, they have wind, they have solar, they have other unique resources for electricity, and battery storage kind of plays a contributing role to help in that broader picture. I think for East Point specifically, we were attracted to the market. Just there's a large amount of people coming to Texas.
Yeah.
There's a lot of needs, and so it does because of that and the wonderful infrastructure you guys already have. It makes it an attractive market for us. Storms like what you mentioned we help support
Hmm.
those types of storms not being so devastating. But we do that across the country. And so that, you can kind of see that consistently. But yes, that was not a good one.
Yeah. And if I can just add to it,
Yeah,
I'm glad
please.
you brought it up because we just had Winter Storm Fern.
Mhm.
It was really cold in Virginia, but I know you all had some really cold weather down in Texas as well. I think we were there when it was coming and everyone was being warned about the cold temperatures. We have an operating project in Frio County, Texas.
Hmm.
It's called Sunset Ridge. And during Winter Storm Fern, it contributed and fed back to the grid 53 megawatts of power, which is the equivalent of powering 2,000 homes daily. So, we're trying to prevent blackouts and brownouts when everyone's using their heat or their air conditioning during the summer. We know how hot it gets in Texas.
Yeah.
We've experienced that. It really helps present or prevent those blackouts and brownouts.
Excellent. And um, what have you seen in terms of trends, whether it's nationwide or specifically in Texas, because of the new demands of things like AI data centers that are going up, which are just huge energy sucks? What have you seen as far as the trend there?
Sydney, do you want me to take that one? I
You're
mean,
welcome to take it. Yeah.
certainly,
To contribute if you miss.
yeah, it's certainly data centers. We see them in Virginia too. Actually, Virginia has more data centers than Texas. I don't know how long that will last because Texas has much more land mass, but also Texas has, seen a real growth in population
Hmm.
over the last few years. So, with all of that combined, you're going to need more energy. And, we complement what's existing already. We're technology agnostic, so we
Hmm.
can take electrons from wind, solar, gas, nuclear, and like Sydney mentioned earlier, store it and then feed it back to the grid when it's most needed. So we really complement other energy sources.
Excellent. And
Did you want to
what,
add anything, Sydney? Did I
No,
cover that?
yeah, you
Okay.
covered that. You got
Okay,
it.
great, great.
nice. And what is your effect or what interaction do you have with the citizens of the area versus the big companies? Are you a pure B2B company?
Oh, we love engaging with communities. Community engagement is really important to East Point and getting out early and often. I will say big shout out to the Victoria Economic Development Corporation, specifically Sharon Barnard. She has introduced us to so many folks, and it's really important to get out there and to have these conversations. Not only with elected leaders and the fire and emergency services and the school district, we've met with several times. Bloomington ISD is near our project. Um, but also, Sharon introduced us to the folks that put on the Tejas Festival. And Sydney and I spent a few days, near the main center of town. We were sponsors of the Kid Zone. We had lots of conversations with residents and talking about energy storage, talking about the benefits that we can bring and tax revenue. And we also build long-term social contributions plans in communities that we serve. But also hearing from people in the community about what's important to them and answering their questions.
Absolutely.
And it was kind of cool that we were able to be the Kids Zone sponsor because our company is made up of a lot of young families or employees that have young families. So we felt very at home there, and talking to everyone. So did I cover that, Sydney? Anything
Yeah.
else you'd like to add?
No, I mean you covered it beautifully. I think in summary, our one of our core values and something that's really important to us is to be a good neighbor. And we're coming into these communities. We want to be a part of the community. But yes, the Tejas Festival was wonderful. The Kids Zone was wonderful. I very lovingly, consistently joke I got to pet a kangaroo, which was really wonderful. Highlight of my
And
year.
yeah, and we're actually really looking forward to the Food Banks event.
Yes.
And I think it's April 25th, Saturday night. In fact, we've signed up for the air guitar
Oh, nice.
contest.
Nice.
So
Oh.
we got to think about what song we want to
As I
do,
say, Sydney
Sydney.
sounds surprised by that. She's like, "Oh, did we?"
I told you.
She did. She did. I don't think I had fully materialized that I would be getting my air guitar on, but we will figure it out.
I love that. And you mentioned tax revenue for the area. Talk about some of those benefits, jobs, things like that.
Yeah,
Sydney, do you want to take
absolutely.
that one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can take that. So the project, maybe this would be a good time to talk a little bit about the project specifically that we're
Yeah.
thinking about, or more than thinking about, we're very excited about in Victoria County. So we have named it Bobcat Energy Center. It is a 250 megawatt battery storage facility. So to give you some sizing ideas, that's about 150,000 homes that we can charge for 2 hours at peak operation. Give more or less depending on the situation, but that's kind of a good sweet spot. And benefits to the community, projects of this size, we bring quite a bit of tax revenue. We're expected to bring $30 million of tax revenue to the community. That is inclusive of schools, the school, the Bloomington ISD, the county, and other entities that make up the taxes in Victoria County, and we're really excited about that. As well as some of the other wonderful things that Kat has mentioned about our community engagement strategy and being long-term good partners. Did I
Right.
miss anything, Kat?
I think you got it. We also try to partner with construction partners that
Yes.
qualify for
Yes.
tax credits, and that have apprenticeship programs, as well as fair wages. That's really important to us.
Really important.
And I would just add, we have been talking to the Bloomington ISD about doing something special. We actually sponsored almost 20 teachers from across Virginia and Texas recently to participate in a virtual Battery 101 workshop. So teaching kids not about battery storage, but just how batteries work and how they're all around us, as Sydney mentioned before. I mean, there are a lot of jobs in electrification and that's growing. So we're both very passionate about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And anytime we can bring, learning opportunities to kids and inspire them, it's really important to us.
Yes.
No, I love that, and I'm going to have to talk to you about that off air because I do a lot with robotics in the high school, so I think that would be
Wonderful.
a great
We should
fit.
talk.
Yeah, we actually sponsored a robotics team in Texas and another part of Texas recently. So that's a real interest of ours.
I love that. So, what else should people know about East Point Energy that I failed to bring up?
I would just say, we really are excited about being in Victoria. I mean, there are a lot of interesting and exciting things going on. We know that through the Economic Development Corporation. We will be at the food bank event coming up on April 25th. We'll be back at the Tejas Festival this year. So we want to talk to people. We want to answer questions. They can reach out to us. Our website is eastpointenergy.com if they have any questions. And we're just excited to be there. And like I said, we love going down to Texas. Sydney, you're headed there now. Anything else you want to mention? Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I do. I have a flight very soon. I think I would just mention like how grateful we are to be working with Victoria County. Everybody that we've met, citizens, county representatives, the EDC, everybody has been incredibly wonderful, yourself included, Chris. And so thank you again for letting us be here and to talk a little bit about ourselves. It's been such a pleasant and fun opportunity to develop in this county.
I love that. I love that. And I love the fact that you chose the Food Bank of the Golden Crescent to support, because it's near and dear to my heart, but they do so much for so many. I love that.
We're very excited, and hopefully we'll see you on April 25th.
Oh, I will be there. I will definitely be there.
Awesome.
I haven't been talked into the air guitar yet, but we'll see.
We'll have
We
to
might
talk
have to
about that
drag you
off
up on
air.
stage.
I love
You
it.
could be on our in our band.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. I don't
Yes.
mind. I'll be in the band doing air drums. How about that?
Okay.
Cool. Well, Sydney and Kat, gosh, I want to thank you so much for all that you're doing and being my guest here on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Imperative Chemical Partners sets the standard for chemical services in the oil and gas industry. They work with E&P and midstream operators across the lower 48 states, delivering reliable service and customized chemical solutions designed for each basin's unique challenges. With in-house manufacturing, research, and field expertise, Imperative helps reduce risk, improve performance, and keep operations running smoothly. Learn more at imperativechemicals.com. Hunger Action Heroes is also made possible through the generous support from South Texas Electric Co-op, DeWitt Dental Professionals, Mr. Gaddy's Pizza, Southern Field Maintenance, Victoria Lions Club, Dennis and Sherry Shea, and Texas A&M University Victoria. Thank you for all your support of the Food Bank of the Golden Crescent.